Welcome back to another video. This is going to be short and sweet intro. No idea what I'm doing yet, so I'm going to try to figure that out, and then you'll see what I know, if I know it. All right, I figured it's time to figure out our remaining floor section here with our boots. I got our rings, so I got that one kind of placed. You can see this little piece here I'm going to make, and then this will probably end up getting welded to the floor here, because there's no reason for me to have to worry about that. And then we'll drill holes to secure that. The other part is a little more complicated. I took our ring and kind of bolted a piece of paper with a flange to it, cut it, so I can kind of figure out what I need to do. But that gets it pretty close of how I need to do it. I can cut out a metal, shape it, and then I can figure out my few other little pieces right here. And then the little bag and stuff will work on top. So this took some thinking. You can see all my little cuttings. You can kind of see it up close here now. So not too bad. So what we can do is once we unbolt this from here, we can straighten it out, put it on a piece of metal, bend it, and then we can do our few little relief cuts, put it on here, form it around, and we can weld it, and then we'll just do a little cap right here to cover this part up. Just fill in these little spots, and then we should be able to use our bags. I went ahead and cut out this little piece of metal, got it bent, kind of fit the shape, and we did some of our little rivet nuts. So this panel is going to end up being removable. I figured if I welded this in, getting this out with the top ring of the main shifter welded to this, I don't know if I couldn't get this out because it would come over to this side. So with that lip there, this is almost going to come this way some, so this has to be removable. So that makes it a little more challenging, but whatever. So we got that bolted in there. Once I get the rest of these rings figured out, I might have one here, I might have one here, I don't know yet. So we got the main ring disconnected and our pattern separated. All right, so you can kind of see with our shape that we have here, with our relief cuts, everything else. Once we open it up, it's just kind of weird. So we get this transferred to here. At least I know we have a straight edge for this end, and then we can do some relief cuts, everything else, and let's see if we can make this work. All right, well, you can see our bracket, all of our fanciness here. I got only two drilled so far. I didn't want to drill the other ones because it depends how this bends. It could be off, but I know these two are good. So we're gonna bolt our little ring up to this, and then I found a piece of tube that matched our radius of this right here, of our ring. So my plan is to bolt this to this, put it on the ring here, and bend it till I can get to the 90, and then I can mark my other holes, go ahead and get those drilled, and then I can move on to the next steps on each side. That way it'll be perfect, or hopefully, we'll see. So let me go ahead and get this bolted up. I'm going to do this one bend and show you, and hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, then I won't show you the rest, and we'll figure out something different. But hopefully this will work. All right, so you can see we're bolted to it. It'll be our standoff there. All these measurements worked out pretty well, hopefully. So we're going to try to bend these two and get a 90-degree angle, something, I don't know, but hopefully it'll work. All right, we had to flip our screws because we were hitting here. I didn't want it to throw it off. So you can see we have our gap between our ring and our base here. I'm hoping when I can bend our little tabs a little bit so they'll crisscross over top, and then I can take my angle grinder and cut off the access. And then once we're done, we can drill these holes out a little bit bigger, and this will sit flush, or we might just leave it like that. But this should help me be able to crisscross them over. Let's see, so take that there. That one goes underneath. This one should go on top. Oh, don't go too much. Okay. So now we need to bend it out a little bit. Oh, let this front one come down a little bit. Hey, look at there. Not bad. Okay, so I think so we have pretty flush there. We are flush there. So I'm going to hold this, mark my back side here so I can trim that. I don't even know if I need to trim that off, do I? No, I don't even think I need to because we got that standoff anyway. So we're good. Okay, so I guess let me pull this down, which is right there. Hole. Oop, off. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, drill these three, get that in, and then we'll do the other side. Actually, might be able to do this side right now. So now let's get behind it. This goes in front of it. Come on. Yeah. Oh, don't twist that. I'll get my bend a little bit. Yep, there we go. We get our line up just like that. And mark our holes. Perfect. All right, let's drill some holes. I got it bolted back together. I did on this inside part go ahead and knock off our corners, so when I weld it up it won't be as drastic like the points, so it'll clean up real good. And then I just hammered these back so I can get some good tacks and stuff into here in a little bit. But we got everything lined back up. Actually looks kind of cool. So let me go ahead and try to figure out these two real quick. And I added like a 1/4 inch to it because my template was a 1/4 inch short, so hopefully this will line up. So who knows. So let's see, we got crossed over, so I'm about 1/16 there. Okay, but we got everything else lined up. Once you get that cut out, we'll stick it underneath here. Yep, we'll be good. All right, let me go ahead and get this. I think I need to trim this first. That way I can get an accurate spot for my holes. Yeah. All right, I got the floor cleaned up. I got some paint on it, so I'm letting that dry. But I was trying to figure out a way to get this boot, get the holes mixed into this so when I install it, it'll work. My best option was I lined up center of the seam here and here, and then I clamped it and then just used a little marker to mark it, 2 of these holes, and then I punched them out and then put these little nuts and bolts in it just to hold it. Switched to this side and did it, then these 2 centers, and then I'm just kind of worked my way out. So you can kind of see, I just kind of stretched it and then made a little mark. I'm going to pop these on this little punch right here and clean it up. And that one's done. I gotta do this one. Then when I'm ready to put this in the car, which I'm not doing now because I still have stuff to do and I don't want the boots to get mixed up or messed up. But it'll be ready when I'm ready, I guess. And I just take this razor blade because this fabric is so stretchy and just knock off the little butts of it. All right, so then you can kind of see we'll let this sit on here like this and hopefully it'll let it stretch. Once we get it installed and get it tight, we can trim off the excess. I don't want to do that right now just so I have a little bit of play, but it's a good way to get it on there and let it look good. So cool. So we got our 2 boots, emergency brake, and our transmission shifter. Got them bolted up to the flanges, let them sit in there, just kind of stretch. The emergency brake, here's the part number I got from that. And for the actual trans shifter, there's the one for that. So pretty slick, but we're not putting them in yet because I don't want to screw them up. I went ahead and put some rubber paint on here, kind of seal everything up, but I think it turned out pretty good actually. Not too bad. So I am going to go ahead and put the boots on. I'll just have to protect them because I want to see what it looks like. So heck yeah. Shifter and boots and rings are in. I think it turned out really good. I like that a lot. Ain't bad. I went ahead, I sprayed this with some rubber seal since all this is going to get a rubber floor and the hump will get a ribbed rubber floor as well. So very neat. Well, I guess now that we are finished with the shifters and that little section right there, we're going to jump and try to finish this little section off. So we got our little old apron that was on here that attached to our roof section. And then we have these side curtains right here that we need to do something with. I think we're going to weld this apron to these little curtains on the side from the back end. This top piece right here, we got our molding. We have a slight curve to it. So maybe you have to do one. I mean, it's very slight. But I think we're going to do 2 cuts, 2 or 3 cuts, maybe one in the middle and then one halfway between. We're going to bend that over. And eventually I think we're going to try to bend it all the way over. or at least slant it back a little bit, because over on our sides, we have our door overlap here, and then this is our old piece here that we bent over, but we need to fill this section up here. So I think we'll end up cleaning this up, putting a piece of 18 gauge along through this little section here to fill this in. But with this, I think we're going to have to do some relief cuts to bend that over to tie into that. And I think we'll kind of just let that from right here, if it's out that far, I think we'll just kind of let it fade and then taper, and then it'll tie right into this part that's bent over back here in the back. I think that's the plan that we're going to go with. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. All right, well, regardless, this isn't staying up high like this. You can kind of see how it sticks up. It's probably 2.5 inches tall. I think this molding will be good right there. So I think I'll go ahead and cut this, get the majority of this bent over, and then back in here so we can weld it on the back side, and then we can bend the rest of the way down once we figure out what we're going to do. I also thought about taking some of my rubber sheet, and once that's bent over, sandwich it between the bend here and let it come down to this part, so when that lifts up, kind of hides the hinges and stuff like that. But I'm not sure yet. We'll figure out something. Worst case, we can put some type of attachment back here for the rubber to be back here just to cover the hinges up, because I know I'm going to cover this, so I might just let it run long, maybe up to this little lip up here. But we'll figure that out later. Not sure why I didn't do it before when I did the little piece. I should have just went ahead and bent me a little slight bend, some bar, put it in there and called it good, bent it over, and I be able to actually have something good to weld through. And some of this stuff is so thin, I still want to burn through it. So I figure if I can force this back into there, even if I burn through this, I'll be able to hit this metal, and then I can disperse the puddle out to grab a hold of this, and it'll give it some stability. So I guess I need to try to figure out if I can squeeze this in here now, maybe. Hopefully. I guess I need to get it down where I need to get it to first. Up there. Oh. That's pretty close. Yep. Oh, hey, that went pretty good. Get in there. Oh, this is a little low there. Oh, hey, look at that. Woo. Oh, we're just a little. I guess we're going to come that way. Hey, popped it in. Sweet. All right. Oh, that's going to be so much better. So now I can be able to pull across through here, put some welds, but then if I decide to do something else back here, it's going to give me plenty of room and something good to weld to. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and clean up. Like I got some overlap here. I'm going to go ahead and nick that stuff off so I can get this flush onto there, and then I can start hammering this down and then get some welds onto that to get that cleaned up. Heck yeah. Wow, that looks way better. Obviously, I got to do some more welding and get our little cuts and stuff filled in through there, but that's going to look really good. Nice clean edges. So now I think my next bit is to figure out this little section through here. I need to, I guess, just do some relief cuts to get those bent over, and then I'll figure out what type of taper or template I need to have this go, and then taper into this section right here. So I guess let's see what we can figure out for this. I made a template, of course. So the plan is for it to stick in under here, tilt up like this. We'll get some few tacks on this, and then we'll just start kind of beating these down. This 18 gauge is pretty stiff. Beat these down to kind of form to it, and we'll tack those along the way and see if we can get this to roll or do something. I don't know, but I guess we'll see if we can get this to work first. So template, actual piece, and we are primed underneath. So let's see. Tilt this way. Tilt that way. Slide it. That way. Comes back. That goes that way. Pull it. We can clean some of that off, but there it is. Like that. Guess I need to get this tacked in first. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, let's get everything set up and go ahead and get a few tacks on this so we can kind of start twisting and popping where we need to go. Still got some more welding to do and some cleanup, definitely, but you get the idea. I'm not gonna sit here and make you watch every little bit of it, but that's gonna clean that off. It's gonna give us a nice line all the way around. I don't think it'd be too bad. So that stuff is very thin and it's a pain to weld, but at least we get some tacks on it and we'll get it cleaned up and get some paint on it, and then we'll see what she looks like. But that whole thing looks better than that. I have to say I do like it. There's still more work to be done. A lot of that metal, man, it's so thin, and I was getting a few burn throughs even though I'm on my lowest setting. So it's not structural. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll get some body filler and I can fill in where I didn't weld, get it nice and cleaned up and sanded down, and you'll never be able to see. I mean, it's bare metal anyway, so I got to paint it. Not a big fan of the fillers, but I won't need very much, but just enough to, fill in those little spots like that. It is what it is. But that's gonna really clean this up and make it look a lot better, nice and clean around the edges. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for this bottom section here, but I need to repeat this over here to this ugly side. So whether you like that or not, and I'm using a little bit of filler, that looks way better than this over here. So I'm not complaining. And besides, I mean, this is not a gorgeous, beautiful body anyway. So, but it's going to look good. All right, we got our other side done. And here in the middle, we have our two pieces that come down on the side here. I wanted to take a straight edge. It's 1 7/8 from here all the way over to here, height-wise. But of course, we're crowned, so it's taller. I made this little piece here that'll be 1 7/8 all the way across the bottom. And I gotta tuck it up underneath some of these spots, get it welded, and it's going to give us a nice clean edge back here. Let's see if I can get this in here. It's got to come back out because I'm going to put it in the bead roller. All right, so that'll kind of give you an idea of what we're going with here. I just don't want a straight edge. I got these kind of curved over. Putting the bead roller in, I have one of the, I guess it's a half round die maybe. I'm going to probably come up like a 1/4 inch and just kind of let that kick in just a little bit. And then we'll put it up here and see how it looks. But I think that's going to clean it up back here through the back, and then we can figure out all this other stuff. So let me go ahead and put a little round edge on this. Well, I definitely think that's a huge improvement. I am pretty sure, like 99% sure, I have the rib rubber floor. I am going to put some on this shelf right here. And I think by the time that goes back, really not even going to worry about those hinges or anything tilting. I think it's an 1/8 or 1/4 inch. So that'll fill that out right there really quick. That'll look good. I'm not too worried about that, but both sides match. Looks way better. Just a small lip. I don't mind it at all, to tell you the truth. I think the only other thing we really could have done is just attach this all the way to the bottom. But I don't really mind this. Once the seat's in, it's pretty much all the way back. So, you're only going to see that much of it anyway. I'm okay with it. Now I just need to finish cleaning it up a little bit, and then I'm going to get some body filler just to kind of clean up the lines some and some of these joints where I didn't actually weld it up. Got some body filler down. Now, I am by no means a body person. I'm not a big fan of filler, but I need it on this. So don't know how it's going to work out. Like, again, I'm not a body filler person or anything like that to finish this stuff good, but I think this is my only option really. And I assume it'll work. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll get it close to drying, and then we'll start sanding it and try to see if we got to fill in any more spots. But yeah, this is not a concourse car. Just remember that. You see this to see everything else. So don't judge. Whew. All right. First coat's on. Got it sanded with 80 grit. And I just used the air compressor to blow it out because you'll reveal little pinholes every once in a while. You're not going to avoid that. I'll show you what we got. I mean, it already looks better than it did. But if you look, like right there, you can see some little bitty pinholes. Not that big of a deal, but we are going to go ahead and put another coat on this just to get a few of the little low spots. And then we'll get that sanded and we'll see what she looks like. Let me reiterate that I'm not a body person. I despise doing it, honestly. If I could just build stuff with metal all day, get the main project done and ready for finish work, I'd be happy to turn off the finish work to somebody else. Not a big fan of it. But anyway, I don't have any help. So, and I don't have a shop big enough or means to hire somebody. So whatever. All right, we'll let this dry and then I'll do some sanding again and then let it dry probably 24 hours, and then we'll get some primer on it and some flat black. Here we go. Second coat, sanded. Again, not perfect, but it should be good enough for this. I got taped off. I'm gonna throw some primer on it, let that dry overnight, and then we'll put some flat black on it tomorrow, and hopefully it'll work. Well, it said gray for the self-etching primer, but it's kind of green or something. Battleship gray, I don't know. So we got a coat on that. That's going to work. It's definitely not perfect. I can see a bunch of flaws, but if you already look out here, that's from the old paint. And then jump over the door, you can see how it's all chipped up and just not great. So we don't want this to be 100% perfect. That's what I'm going with, at least. But for what it is, I think it's going to be okay. So yeah, if I was going to do this the right way and fill up all the welds, all the joints, everything with weld, grind it down, make it just 100% perfect, try to use no body filler, it probably would have taken, just for that little piece, probably a week because there was a lot of cuts and splices and it just wasn't perfect anyway. So I'm not stressed about it. It's going to look fine, and then we're going to get some black on it, and it is what it is. So it's better than it was. All right, we're going to let this dry 24 hours / overnight, and we'll get some black on it tomorrow and see what she looks like. I lied. This primer only takes 30 minutes before I can put my paint on it, so we're going to do it now. Then we can let this dry overnight. Ran out too, that's good. Well, there she is. Shiny now, but it's flat, so we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. See you in the morning. So the next morning, got everything kind of cleaned up. I got the car wiped down, but I think we're looking pretty good. And again, it's not perfect, but I think it blends into with what everything else looks like, so I'm pleased with it. I do like our sweeps and stuff through here to try to get some nice lines. So heck yeah, another thing done. Well, I have to say this caused me a lot of headache initially, but we finally figured out, I think this was the third try of how we were going to do this for the shift boots, just to get the standoff right. Turned out great. I could be happier with that. And again, this is all going to get a rubber floor. So, you know, it's going to clean this up really good. This took way more time than I thought it was going to take, but it did turn out better than I thought. I think it cleans it up, so we're good on that. But yeah, I'm glad it's over. So that's it for this one. I mean, like I said, some of these videos going forward, we're going to throw in a few different things, little things here and there. I know we got the headlights, taillights coming up. We have to modify that. We got a dimmer switch, a bunch of other little stuff we're trying to get to go to get to our final wiring and stuff like that. Don't know what's next, but it'll be one step closer to getting done. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate it greatly. So with that, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next Friday. See ya.